Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with our Crafty Playdate, and we are going to make this cute card today. This card I made actually for a birthday class that I hosted. It works great for birthday. It's really cute for like an It's a Boy stamp. You could do a little baby card with it. You could do a Father's Day card with it. It's great for a masculine card. So you could do a thank you like I did, or you could do a happy birthday, it's a boy, happy Father's Day, you're the best, whatever. But I wanted to give you some tips and tricks on this and show you some tips and tricks. All right, so let's get started. We are using Blueberry Bushel for the background. By the way, these are my favorite colors and almost my favorite colors together pretty much. I love green. Green is my favorite. But blue and green together just are serene to me. That's the word too. All right, so this is a Blueberry Bushel piece here. And this piece here that we're using is Lost Lagoon. I went ahead and embossed it because I hate to emboss on camera. But I'm using an older embossing folder. I ripped it a little. But it is called Old World Paper. And I wanted something that looked kind of like a Rough Sea or... actually, that would be really cute too. Would be like a I'm Here For You or something like that with a Rough Sea. We do have some stamps that look more like waves. I just don't happen to have any. And I had this old one. It's retired. But just go through your... It's supposed to look like crinkled up paper. But to me, when I did it, it looked a little bit like Rough Sea. So just go through your embossing folders and see what you have. You may have one that's waves. And I believe there is one in the catalog. And I'll list it below in the description if there is one. But if you don't have something like that, look at your things, try to look at them a little differently because I bet you have something you might be able to use instead. But this is Old World Paper. I've embossed Lost Lagoon with it, and it's just a strip. This is the fastest card, by the way, so fast to make the base of it. And then I want to show you some tricks on making the boat. The boat is awesome because it's a punch. So that's just going to go down the side. This strip is, I don't know, I have no idea. It's about 1.5 inches wide, and it is just a hair shorter than the card. The card here would be 5.5, so it's probably, it's a little bit bigger than 5, I would say. It's probably 5 and, it's a little bit bigger than 5 1/4. I would say it's probably like 5 3/8. That would be my guess. Okay, but yours doesn't have to be exactly like mine. I'm telling you right now. No police are coming to your house with the stamping. All right, the paper that I'm using, this paper here, I am using it to do the yeoman's work to make it look really like waves. This is called Bright and Beautiful. It's 6x6 paper. It is adorable. It is super bright. It's got pretty much every color you can imagine. This would also be good, right? Or this one would be good for waves. But it's got lots of great birthday paper. I mean, it's just got a lot of great paper in there, and you're gonna be use this whole pack. So this is a good one. Get on it while we've got it. This is one of the papers this is the paper that I use. This is the back. The back is Lost Lagoon. The way I knew what colors I could use in my boat to make my boat is I looked on this paper and I said, oh, what colors are in there? Let's see. Azure Afternoon, Berry Burst, Blueberry Bushel here. Bubble Bath, Fresh Freesia, Lemon Lime Twist, Lemon Lolly, Lost Lagoon here. Misty Moonlight, and Pretty Peacock. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do black for my mast. That goes with everything, right? And then this one is Berry Burst, and this one is Lemon Lime Twist. So I got them all right from the paper pack. Okay, moving on. So this square is, I want to say 3x3, which is great if you have 6x6 paper because you cut it once this way, and you cut it once this way, and you have 4 3x3 squares, so you can make 4 of these cards. I put this pretty low. I'm probably going to do this a little higher, and it is just glue. So I can go ahead and get that going on here. Okay, so I'm going to put it a little higher this time, and it is there. You can put yours wherever you want. All right, now this stamp here is from Timeless Arrangements. I love this one. It's got a lot of different sentiments that you can use, but also some cute little side things. You can do watermark ones that look great on any card, but I think this would be cute at Christmas. I mean, you could really do a lot with it. I'm using this thank you in this particular card right now. And the little piece of paper that I'm using, it is 1.5 inches. I'm sorry, half an inch. There you go. It is a 1/2 inch strip. I have 100,000 of these 1/2 inch strips. Usually they're very long and they look like this. And the reason that I keep these is for this exact reason. These are strips that I get and I have left over when I make panels. So, for example, this is a card base, and a panel, we're going to put inside a white panel so that we can write on the card, because it's really hard when it's a dark inside. You can't see the pen, but if I stick that in there, it looks really finished and it makes it easier to write on. This panel is 4 by 5 1/4, so it's exactly 1/4 inch smaller. But if you cut it when the paper is whole, so if I took a whole sheet of paper, which I don't have hanging around, if I took a whole sheet of paper and I cut off a 1/2 inch this way on the long side and a 1/2 inch off the bottom, and then I just cut everything in half and in half, this 1/2 inch and this 1/2 inch are what leaves these. That makes 4 panels, and I have a bunch of these strips. And these strips, if I make a mistake on this thank you, I'm not going to be sad. I'm just going to stamp it again. If I decide I want to sit and watch TV and stamp a whole bunch of them and then cut them apart and do it, perfect. So I don't know how long it is. It's a little under 2.5. It could be any length. It just needs to fit your sentiment. So mine is a little longer than I normally would maybe use for thank you. I might have used it for happy birthday last, and that's possible. But this is what I got right now, and it's what I'm using. I'm using Lost Lagoon ink, and I just buried it. And I am using my mat because my stamp is photopolymer. Going to ink it up. Going to lean over the camera so that you only see my head. I hope I didn't do that. Let's see. And perfect. And I love that font. I just think it's super cute. All right, closing that ink pad. So that's all the ink. That's all the stamping you do on this. And that is just going to be popped up here. I'm going to stick it on some dimensionals. Why don't I just do that right now? When you have a strip like this also, oddly, these little hexagon dimensionals fit very perfectly, and they don't hang off the edge or anything. So it's the perfect length. So when you cut your panels, be sure that you do 4 at a time, because you're going to generally, if you're making 2 cards, you're going to need front and inside normally for panels. So you'll use 4 for 2 cards, and then you'll have these extra little things. I'm going to center this here. Does that look centered to you? Does that look good to you? Okay. Does that sentiment make my tushy look fat? I'm going to go up a little. Okay, perfect. Perfect enough. Okay, now I am going to cut my boat. So my boat, I'm using the boat. I think it's called the boat. It might be a sailboat punch right here. And because I don't want all of one color, if I wanted all a berry burst punch, all a berry burst boat, I would just punch this whole thing out, but I don't want all that. So I'm just using scraps, and I recommend when you're using a builder punch to use scraps. So I've got some scraps here. This is our lemon lime twist, our berry, and this is our black. Lemon lime twist is a color that we used to have, and then it retired, and now it's back. It's similar to our Parakeet Party. So this is Parakeet Party. It's very bright. This is Lemon Lime Twist and one of my hairs. There we go. So you can see the difference here. It's a little more olivey. It's really funny because I thought that was so bright. And then we got this and I'm like, oh, never mind. So you can see the difference in there. We are using the Lemon Lime Twist for this because that's what it said it was in our paper. That's what that color is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do my black one first. I'm just going to flip my punch over so I can see and slide my punch in so that this part of the boat is all black. And that way I'm not wasting quite as much paper as I would, and I'm just using my scraps. Here's a berry burst. I want it to be the long pointy sail, so it's this one here. I'm going to just go in from this side, and I'm going to go right like that. See, I'm not wasting anything there. And now I could probably go in here if I wanted another sail to be the other color. Look at that. I could fit that right there. I could punch another sail out right there. See it? And then I would be able to do both sails that color or save it for a rainy day. And now I do want that size. Sorry. I'm going to go in, slide in here. It's a little harder to get the angle on this. I'm using a big scrap. I would probably try to use a smaller, narrower scrap for this if I didn't already have it, because I hate waste, but that's the only waste. So this is actually a really efficient way, especially if you're doing punch art. So these are a great thing to make. Sit down while you're watching TV, punch a bunch of boats, assemble the boats, and put them in a little box or a little bin and hold on to them. And then when you're making a card, just whip out one of your little boats and your card is going to take you 2 seconds. All right, tricks for the boat. The boat looks like this. This is the way he's going to go down. All right, it's going to look like that. And then this looks like that. That's ultimately how the boat is going to look. So I'm going to use a couple different types of adhesive on my boat. I am going to use glue dots, first of all. So I'm going to roll it with my finger. I'm going to roll the glue dots so it's not a circle anymore. It's just a long like string of glue, a glue string. And I'm going to put it right under the flag, on the back of the flag, right like that. See that right there? Okay, that's my glue dot there. And my other glue dot doesn't have to be rolled up quite as much, but I probably will just because it's easy to get it off. Normally, I don't touch the glue dots at all. I never really need to. If I want to put a glue dot on something, I would just touch this to the glue itself. But I want this actually on the boat. So there's one glue dot right at the base and one glue dot up here. And now I'm just going to touch my things to them. So I'm going to touch this bottom glue and touch that top glue and just give it a little pinch. And now that sail is on there. And now I'm going to flip this dude over and do the same thing. Touch it here, touch it there. And that way you're not trying to mess with little dots of glue too hard, too much work. And you want the little air to show, the little background to show through your boat. All right, so I told you I was going to use a couple kinds of adhesive. That is one. I do want my boat to stand up a little bit. So I think the way I did this, I let my sails be down, but I used mini dimensionals. I put a whole one right here because I like to hide them. So that's going to be hidden behind my boat sail. And then this one is a little too small for one, so I just cut one of these babies in half. I do that quite a bit. I usually just cut up from the sides and stick it right there, and it's not going to show from the front. Okay, and that's just going to give a little elevation on my boat. You could technically put it on the sails also to elevate the whole thing, but I think I wanted it to look, I'm trying to give it just a tiny bit more dimension. All right, so then you're going to peel off these back papers. Stick that on there. I made him kind of low. Oh, now I've stuck everywhere. I'm stuck everywhere. Okay, and I'm just going to stick that on there. And my boat is ready to set sail. And my dimensionals are going with it. All right, so that is the boat. This is the thank you. And that's some tricks on how to assemble your boat. If you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be yours. My information is below, and everything that I used is below. If it's something that's retired like this paper here, or not the paper's not retired, but if it is something that is retired like this embossing folder, I will see if I can find a similar or like thing that might be useful for this card and link it below too. Because if you don't have this one, I don't want you to just not make it. I want you to make it. Just try something different. All right, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a great afternoon, and I hope you'll stop back and see me soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.